Hi, in this video I'm going to show you a print and play game called Hello, my name is blank, possibly Inigo Montoya, and the Argonauts. It's got a 4-page rule set, except most of that is pictures, so it's not that hard to get through. This is just, well, a bit of fun really. It's not part of the game as such. It's a name card, you can put your name on if you so wish. Here's how you win the game. You get a collection of a collection of heroic deeds which you tick off through the various rounds of play. So what you do is you work your way through this deck of cards here. Each time you get through there, you're going to be able to add a tick on this card here. Some of the cards you play, or if you win, you get to tick off additional ones. And like you can see here, you get +1 starting crew. So this pile of meeples, 12 of them, is how many men you start with. So if you tick this first row at the end of the first round, you'd then be able to add another member of your crew. And it kind of makes it like a legacy game. So the objective is to fill up all these markers here. Once you've filled all those up, which you do at the end of a round, then you've won the game. So the basic principle is that you use your 12 crew over and over again to try and work through this deck. Okay, so what you do is you draw 3, you lay them out. This is just a normal round of play. Now I've printed all these out in black and white, but see if I can line the camera up. The PDF is full colour, so you get lovely colourful cards, but as they're kind of disposable and you change them, like a legacy game, then I just printed them in black and white. I didn't want to spend any money on the ink, as it were. So once you've laid out 3 cards, you have to assign your meeples, your crewmen, to trying to achieve the goal. Now in this case, these are 3 enemies that need to be defeated. You've got the Calcatorus, the Gorgon, and the Sirens. And you can see this little box here with a cross in it. Well, that means this is a level 1 card. It hasn't increased in level. So through play, you might, on each subsequent round, you'll probably tick off more of these boxes. I'll get to that in a minute. But what you do is you look down from the last ticked box to a number, and that's the number you need to reach to defeat this card. So right at the end of the game, if I've ticked all the way across the here, the number to defeat would be 9. So I have to allocate my meeples across these 3 cards. Now, all of these are currently at 7. So I'm going to roll a die, add the number of meeples that are on each card. So let's just split it up into 4s, which means it's practically guaranteed I'm going to win. So I put 4 of my crew on each of the cards, and then for each one, in any order I like, I roll the die, add the score on the die to the number of meeples, and if I meet or exceed that number, I've defeated that card. So, in this case, I have defeated that card. That means this card will now go over here into my victory pile. Let's say I didn't have enough people, and then I rolled a 4 on that. That means I failed to do this card. Now, that normally means you discard this card, but there's usually a penalty as well. Like it says here, if this card is not defeated, kill all the crew assigned to this card. Now that's a special ability. So let's say I'd rolled a 1 and had 4 meeples on it. That would kill all of those. So all of them would be out of play for the rest of this round. If I run out of crew, it's game over. Now a normal card, like this one here, let's go back to this Taurus. Because we're on level 1, so we read down from here. So let's say I had these 4 plus the die roll, that's terrible. I didn't reach the 7, so I read down, and this second column with the row, indicates how many crew I lose. So on a normal card, in this case, I would have lost 1 crew, which is just bye-bye crew, thrown away. But that was a special card that had a special ability of killing all the crew allocated to it. So that's one you definitely want to try and defeat, because if you run out of crew, you lose. Oh, excuse me. So basically you allocate your meeples across the 3 cards and then you roll to defeat them. This one, here's another example of a specialist card. I have to keep one of my crew members back while this one's in play. So basically I'm either putting the card over here into my victory pile, or it's beaten me and I'm putting it up here out of the way. Then I draw the next 3 cards. And I go through the process again of allocating my meatballs, rolling the dice and see whether I defeat them. There's a lot of special abilities, but at the end of a round, that is when I've gone right through this deck, if I have any meatballs left at that point, then I have completed that round, and you go into the post-round checking. Now what you normally get, as I said at the beginning with this card here, you get to tick one of these boxes. If you fill out the row of tick boxes, then you get the benefit going forward. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, okay. If you defeat this card, this is a good example really. It says it gives, it's got a special ability of single use. Take the top 2 cards off the adventure deck, which is the one you're trying to work your way through, and discard them, meaning you don't have to defeat them. So if I defeat this card, I get to throw away 2 of these cards straight up here while playing. Now there are other cards that allow you to do all kinds of different combinations, not just throw cards away, but defeat them, move on. And in this one, this has an end of round ability on it. If this card has reached level 3, i.e. you've ticked off 3 boxes here, at the end of the round you add a Hades Wrath into the deck. Now that's where this second deck of cards comes in. So at the end of the round you'll add 1 or more of these. I can't find that card now, but I know there's Wrath. Oh, there you go, there's a Poseidon's Wrath. And you add that into the deck, and that would water it down, which will either make it better or worse for you, depending on the type of card. So as the rounds progress, you add and remove cards to the deck you work your way through. Some are good, some are bad. Yeah, so if I defeat this card, I could take it into my hand, keep it down here ready to use during the round, and then use it as a special ability, at which point I discard it, throw it onto the discard pile, and I can use that special ability. But most of them just have special abilities that come into effect once they're in play. There's another single use. Return the revealed adventure cards to the deck, shuffle and deal 3 new cards. Okay, not so good there. Another single use. Here's a continuous use card. So if you defeat this card, you get to keep it in front of you, and its special effect stays in play until the end of the round, when you'll shuffle all the cards back together again. There's another one. Yep, it says you get +1 to treasure rolls. Now, some of these, when you defeat them, they are treasures. They're not enemies, they're treasures for you to get. Yeah, this would be a treasure, because there's no loss. If you defeat this, you get this continuous ability. So you'd put this down here, along with your other special abilities, and you can use it as and when. So these +1s are really useful, especially as you start losing meatballs as you play. So, there you go. And at the end of the round, all the cards that you've defeated, put into your victory pile, go up a level, which means you'll have to tick the next box on them. And of course, once you've ticked a few boxes, that means in subsequent rounds they're going to be harder to defeat, and quite often, as you can see here, 2 meeples are killed. 2 of your crewmen are killed if you fail to defeat that card once it's got harder. So the game progresses. As I said, it's like a legacy. The gameplay changes. A card which starts off simple and easy might become difficult, or vice versa. Like here, once you get up to this level here, this card is temporarily not as bad if you fail to defeat it. But the next level up, it gets bad again. Now you only start with 12 meeples in your pile. Card play can add that, or these benefits or these heroic deeds can give you extra crew, which you can just add in and use in subsequent rounds. And that's it. Now, this is my second set that I printed out. The first one I went through, I did not win. I'm hoping to win the next time through. So once I start marking off these cards, maybe I'll come back with another video. Anyway, that's it. Your name here, and the Argonauts.